Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always a huge massive thank you for the support. So I'm still working on the part of the Hunkydory blockbuster, which is the Festive Elegance, and I thought I'd have a little play with these beautiful penguins today. This is the Together at Christmas. So you've got 3 decent sized toppers, lots of tags, nice sort of shaped sentiment, mum and dad, to a special couple, and Christmas wishes, plus the border. And then you've got your plain cardstock, your foiled cardstock, and there's the inserts are hiding underneath, and then I've got 2 inserts which match the kit as well. Okay, so let's pop that to the side. And I'm going to bring in a 6x6 card. So this is my usual 6x12 piece of cardstock, and I've just scored that in half to make a 6x6 card. And then I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I'm going to pop this in right up to the edge, which should be 1.5. And then I'm going to score up to, cut up to the 6-inch mark, which should be to the score line. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So if I make sure that goes down at 6, I can just sweep down to the bottom. And you're going to end up with a card with 3 little slits on. Well, 2 little slits, but 3 sections. Okay, I'm going to bring in a piece of the snowfall acetate, and I'm going to cut that to 4 inches by, I'm just going to go 1 notch under the 6. Actually might be already cut to that size. That's going to go across, actually it will go on top, but that's going to go across these middle pieces. So you're going to have this sort of spanner card is what they call it. Okay, so the foiling on this kit is gold. So I'm going to grab, if I can. I was looking for something beforehand, and I've moved drawers in and things. So a gold mini mat. So these 2 are 1.5 by 6. So I'm just going to go 2 notches under the 1.5, and then 2 notches under the 6. It's going to go on the top, and then I'm just going to repeat that again. So 1.5 minus 2 notches, and then 2 notches under the 6. And that one will go on to that piece there. And then this piece is going to be 3x6. So just get rid of those little bits. So this is going to be 2 notches under the 3 by 2 notches under the 6. And obviously that's going to go on the panel underneath. Into there, and then just thinking about which, I think I want to go with this one. So I'm just going to start by cutting that down at 5 3/4, just so that I've got a piece that's easier to work with. Okay. Now I think what I'm going to do is cut this piece here, so 1.5, so 1 1/4. Just come above that. Or shall I just go across all 3? But then I'm losing the foiling. Okay, let's do it as though we would normally. So 1 1/4. I'm going to keep the foiling end, so that needs to go to 5 3/4. So basically we're losing all of that sort of ground piece. So another piece exactly the same, 1 1/4. By 5 3/4. That's going to go onto there. And then this needs to be 2 3/4. And again 5 3/4. And that will go underneath into there. So I think that is all we need for our layers and mats. So I'm going to throw these bits away because I don't think I can really do anything else with that small. So let's take all of these pieces out. And I think what I'm going to do first of all is just bring in my red liner tape. And I'm going to find the end, just move you up a bit. And just along the edge of this acetate. And it doesn't have to be snowfall acetate. This could be normal acetate. You might want to put a bit of vellum in, which would really sort of mute that background down. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can add into. And then I'm just going to pop that out of the way. Move that out of the way. Actually, I'm going to pop a little bit of my Kalau all-purpose glue because it is supposed to be fine to use with acetate, and I've not had any problems yet, touch wood. So I'm going to pop a little bit on the edges, and then all I need to do is just make sure I don't go over that top crease. I can always trim it from the bottom if I need to. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a press down. I can see that just does come over the bottom piece a little bit. So what I'm going to do is bring in the guillotine, just because this is great for smaller straight cuts. I'm going to line that up with the bottom of my card there and just take that end off. It's just literally a fly's eyelash, a hair, and the guillotine is perfect for that. Sometimes if you try and put it through the trimmer rather than the guillotine, it can I put that on the wrong way, I'm sure I have. Well, what I haven't, I wonder if I'm going to be able to, what I've done is that piece should have been underneath, so let's just see if I can gently peel up this one side. I might need to put another bit of glue on. Oh dear. See, this is not concentrating. This piece needs to be underneath. I think I'm gonna do that again. Right, so these mats and layers are fine. The only thing I'm gonna need is another piece of the snowfall acetate. So bear with me, I'm just gonna fast forward to when I've cut all that again, because those measurements are exactly the same as I'm gonna be using. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut that again, exactly the same. I've cut the panel the same, 4 by just under 6. I've put the red liner tape and a little bit of the Kalau all-purpose. I need to make sure this panel's down. Now, it's not the end of the world. What I could have done is matted and layered, turned the card over like I did initially, just to see, and then matted and layered on the inside as well. But I don't really want to put that much weight on my card, as you know, I'm trying to keep them sort of quite light. So what I can do, just again, I'm coming in, just making sure that panel is down in the middle, because that needs to go underneath. Again, I'm sticking my acetate on. You can see I've got my bridge there. just got a little bit of a string of glue, so I'm just going to clean that off before it dries. Let's just grab a little bit of tissue. That's it. Just if it dries, then it would you'd have that sort of line on there all the time. So that is how the card is going to look. So you're going to have this panel underneath. This is the bridge because it's going over the top. If you don't want to do a full panel, you can just do a strip of acetate and maybe have it a bit more free flowing. You could remove this panel in the middle if you wanted to. So lots of different ways that you can mix this up. So if I bring these pieces back in that I've already cut, so you can see that it's exactly the same size, and all I need to do is get these layers popped on. So let's start with the underneath first of all. So I've left it in. I'm going to leave it in the video because, you know, I make mistakes just as much as anybody else, and you know, when you're at home you'll probably just be like when I turned the camera off I did call myself a couple of silly names, but we all do it, don't we? So I just leave it in just to show that I am human, and obviously if, like I say, you can just fix it by putting some layers on the inside instead, just swapping that over. So if I just bring that card back out and show you, oops. So if I'd left it, yeah, so I've turned it over. No, I haven't. Yeah, I have. I've turned it over. So I'm not sure what I've done. Oh, I know why. That I put that panel through, didn't I? So that's what confused me. I thought, oh, I did do it all right. What was I meaning about? Right. So what you could do is turn it over like so, and then matte and layer on the inside. But I didn't do that. I ultimately ruined it by trying to pick that up, but not to worry. A few dozen swear words later, and it's just a piece of card at the end of the day. And a little bit of acetate, and probably the acetate's the bigger loss really, because that does cost a little bit more. But anyway, like I was saying before I messed up for myself, yeah, you could use, you don't have to use acetate, you could use vellum. Have I got a piece of vellum here? Yes, I have got a piece. So if you did it with vellum, obviously you'd have your brighter pieces on the top. Let's just bring that on. And then you'd have that sort of muted effect on the back, which can be quite nice as well. But just bear in mind it's not as strong, unless you've got a strong vellum than that. Okay, so for these bits, I am going to use a little bit of red liner tape on the side, and I'm going to put it on the gold piece rather than try and figure out where it needs to go on there. Just because that's going to stick onto this acetate here, and although it will be well stuck on the other side, I just want to make sure it stays together. There's nothing worse than a card coming apart, is there? Okay, so let's pop that piece off. My all-purpose, back to my normal. This is the Kalau Tacky glue. I happened to get this from Crafter's Companion. Just because it was cheapest at the time. Okay, so let's just pop that on. Nice and tight. And then next layer. And I haven't said it for a little while, so I will just say the reason why I use these two glues is because the all-purpose glue is the best glue in the world, but if you get it onto any shiny surface like your mirror card, anything like that, then it can take the shine off, and it can give it a sort of effect like a brush metal effect, and it's fine if you want that effect. But if when you just got a little bit on your card, it can be, you'll see it, the person who gets the card probably wouldn't even notice it, but you will always know it's there. You know what it's like. So I use the tacky glue in the corners because that has got a shorter drying time as well, which means I can just move on to my next layers, and 99.9% of the time it's already stuck down. Now the reason why I say 99.9% of time is because lately I've had a few sort of the smaller pieces, or the ones, these sort of 1 inch ones, onto the Miri cards sometimes have popped off, and they've had to be sort of held in place for a little while. Okay, but only for a little while, not like, you know, hours. Okay, so this is the finished, not the finished card, but the finished decorating of the card. Obviously that's going to have an insert on it, so we're not going to worry about that. You got different places to decorate. You can decorate on the inside. I'm going to be decorating on the outside today. I know I have decorated on the inside in the past. So let's bring in, I think I'm going to come in with this one at the top. The 2 frames, one of them is a super chunky one and one has the inner frame. So this one's got the inner frame. This one, as you can see, is a proper chunky one. So, and I've got an idea to use that one on the next card. So let's pop this one out. Might have to just go around and tidy up those little pips. And there, I think that's fine. And then we're going to pop this one out. I'm not going to use this inner frame. I might actually have to change frames because that blue one's getting a bit lost. Alright, we might have to just rejig our idea. This one I can still use it for my other idea. It just would have been better with this wider one. Alright, let's see, I bet that pops on there. Yeah, look, see, we need that one. Okay. So let's pop you to the side. You will be next card. And I'm kind of thinking we could. See, really, you could do without the acetate and do it on there. I wasn't going to put that on the inside, but now I'm thinking that might look nice. If we go super high on the front, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so how much room do I have on there? Not too much. Okay, so I think if I turn that over, actually what I'm going to do is just make it a bit easier for myself. There we go. It's a bit hard when you've got all the blue there. Okay, so if I pop it over like this, I can see where these pads need to go. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there just because these are older pads and I've had them out in the open, so I'm just kind of a little bit worried that they might not stick as well. So if I put a little bit of PVA glue down first, or tacky glue, and I'm just going to make that easy again for myself just by rotating that round. This should be all hidden behind anyway when we assemble this in a second. There, and I think that should be quite nice, yeah. Okay, so let's turn that round again. I'm going to pop these backs off, and these are probably only about a 2mm foam pad. You can go a little higher if you want. You know, if you manage to get those sort of 4mm ones from Hobby Maker before they sold out, you might have the strips of those. you know, anything really, and whatever you feel is going to give you the best sort of look for your card. And also it depends on what you've got there. If you've only got 1mm, use 1mm. You know, it's got to shop your stash. That's what the new saying is, isn't it? I keep seeing everywhere. Shop your stash, shop your stash. Which is right. I mean, you're probably like me, probably got hundreds of millions and things. Okay, let's turn this around. So this one has got a right and a wrong way because you've got the flowers at the bottom, and that's going to be offset quite nicely by those ones at the top. So I'm just going to pop that on. We want to be in the middle. I think we'll be about there. We can't see anything behind, so it's perfect. I am slightly over one side, but it's going to work out fine because I'm going to put a sentiment on there as well. Now for the inside, because I want to jiggle this around a little bit, it's actually a bit on the wonk as well. Or is that me? Sorry, just have to hold it up. I think it's alright. I think I could do just go a smidge to the left. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right, so what I'm going to do is just pop this in where I sort of think it's going to go, and then we can just give it a press down. Just get your head over the top. So apologies if you see my grey hair. And you can just manoeuvre that into place. There we go. So we've got our penguin in the snow there through our little frame. So I quite like this little yellow tag here that says thinking of you this festive season, because he's all on his own, isn't he? We've also got this one here, the little penguin on. So let's have a little look. I think this one, the Christmas is better when we're together. I think that one's going to be a bit too big, but it would be perfect for this image because he looks quite sad, doesn't he? Okay, so let's see. I don't know if we want to pop something under there. No, we don't. Let's see. See, now I'm wishing that was on the blue. It would be nice on the blue. Maybe. Maybe not that one. Okay, let's get rid of Lonely Penguin. So we're just going to go with one, I think. I'm wondering whether I want to cut that down a little bit. Okay, sorry, I'm just thinking. So I'm thinking maybe if I cut that straight across, we could have that at the top. Just trying to think if is there any other way I could use it. So it gets kind of lost on there. It does need the blue. If I cut it to there, it's going to come down a little. Let's have a look at the other ones. We've got To a Special Couple, or we've got Christmas Wishes. Again, that's yellow. Don't think the mum and dad really works. Yeah, let's have a look. So that doesn't really work because he's on his own. Okay, bear with me 2 seconds. Let me grab one of the Christmas pads of sentiments that I've got. Okay, so I've got this. This is not this year's. I don't think it might have been last year's or the years before. So let's have a look. So obviously it needs to be the gold foiling. So just looking at the image, so I don't think we need to go with anything cheery. We could go with Christmas Cuddles. We'll put that in the gold. Let It Snow. The one I love. Ho, ho, ho. No. Glad tidings. No. Just wrong for that image. So, tidings. Time for giving. Christmas wishes. So we could go with this. It's quite an orangey red because we've got the orange on his sort of his body there. What else is there? Yuletide wishes. Don't like those. So don't need the brown anyway. Well, we've got this orangey red. So winter blessings, peace, love and joy, glad tidings, 'tis the season. Put that a little just for you. Let's see how that fits on the top. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so they're handy to have, those little books, but I wish they would do like a gold version and a silver version. Oh, I don't know why Hens is barking. The neighbours are going past. Right, let's grab that 1 metre foam pad. Just plop that in the middle. These are the sticks 2 ones as well, sort of mixing them up with the bits I've got around. So a little bit of glue just to give us a bit of wiggle room time. I'm going to pop that at the top. So we've got a tag there that we can use elsewhere. And then because I've used those orangey reds, have I got any orangey reds? These are quite similar. Sort of, I know they're sliding off. Get back in there. Right, okay, let's see. So, yeah, quite a good colour match for that. So let's grab my knife. Obviously you could go with the gold gems as well. Let's see what they look like against that. So obviously they shine. I'm actually going to go with the gold. I think it's just a bit of a bigger impact against that, that blue. Right, let's just grab a pinch of the smaller ones. I'm going to use my little picky-uppy tool. This is a little one that I got from AliExpress, I think. And it's doing quite well. It's got wax sort of tip on one end. And so it picks them up quite nicely. And let's see, that one are you more bigger. Try and get them in a row. Come back here, you. Spread those out quite a bit this time. Don't like that one. Let me grab that one. I think we need a slightly bigger one. Let's see. Maybe that one. Ah, that's better, I think. There we go. So that one go in there. So I'll just wipe that one off on my hands to get rid of the glue. That should be fine. And so all that needs now is the insert on the inside, but that will stand on a shelf. That will sit backwards, the actual panel itself, but you've got him in the snow there. When it's all together it looks like he's just been snowed on. Then when it's difficult to show, it's going to be the photographs that's going to really show it better. But that is a spanner card. Sometimes it's called a bridge card, but spanner or bridge card. But that's our first card. So what I'm going to do is just get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I'm starting off again with a piece of 6 by 12 that I've just cut, I've just scored in half to make a 6 by 6. And I'm going to bring the trimmer in and start my layers. So it's just going to be a normal flat layer, no cutting, nothing interesting in this bit really. So 2 notches off the 6 on 2 sides, and that's just going to give you like a 1 millimeter, a one notch border all the way around. Okay, nice and even. And then this one, we're going to come in at 5 3/4 squares. So let's put that under there. And okay, remember if you've got any, you know, sort of snowfall embossing folders, if you've got any snowflake die cuts, those sort of things, you can pop those on. What I'm also going to do, just for quickness, I'll use my trimmer to pop this border out. And put that away. And I'm going to cut this to 5 3/4 as well. Okay. So those are my nice and quick layers. So we've got our card going that way. So let's see how we want this to go. I was thinking pretty much it's going to go that way. I want to try and reduce the look of the brown by bringing this in. So that's going to just reduce that down a little bit. It's difficult when you've got this, the cardstock that way, when you've got it with a border on the left and the right. It's harder, I think, to, unless it's something that, how can I put this? So because it's so wide on the left and the right, when you cut it, obviously you're going to get that piece off there. So that can't be really reused. It's easier, I think, if the borders are at the top and the bottom of the A4 sheet, because going long ways, going sort of horizontally, because I think you get more out of it and it's easier to make that smaller on your card without, you've got choices of whether you can use it. I don't think I'm explaining that very well. Let's see if I can explain it. So when you've got it this way across, when the border's this way, I've got to cut it at 5 3/4, so I'm going to get that long piece. If the border is that way across, when I cut it at 5 3/4, the border is on that other side, so that means I can chop into it a bit more and reduce it down so that it scales better on my card. Because I'm using the 6 by 6, I personally find when it's on the side like that, it can be harder. So I'm going to try and reduce that size down. So we'll keep these 2 brown stripes and then put this border on to try and reduce the amount of the brown on the card, just to try and make it sort of scale a bit better. I don't know if I've explained that very well. But I hope you get what I mean. And I think also when the border goes along the top, if you want to do a Z fold card, it's, you know, you can just chop that little bit off and use that as your Z fold piece. It's a lot easier. You've got that extra bit. It's more usable, I think, personally, but you'll have to let me know what you think. Okay, so am I going this way or am I going, because originally I was going to go that way. Let's bring this frame in and let's have a little, just a little quick play before. Oh, actually, let's go bring this bit in as well. So I'm kind of thinking there. Let's just put that to the side and see whether it fits together better or looks better when it's that way. No, it does have to be that way. Okay. So let's pop these on before I change my mind and forget what I'm doing again, which seems to be part of my everyday life now. There we go. And then this one, I'm just going to use that tacky glue. Pop a little bit on. Just got a little pip sticking up there, so I'm just going to push that down with my fingernail. And then it's going to go on like so. Okay, so there's the base of our card. So remember what I said, obviously if you want to, if you've got an embossing folder or a stencil, snowflakes, that sort of thing, you can texturize that right up and make that really shine behind there. Okay, so next thing I want to do is bring in a little offcut of that acetate. So I already took the bits off of that frame, and I'm just going to bring in this red liner tape, and I'm just going to go around my frame, because what I want to do is make a little bit of a shaker card. So I know I did one not quite so very long ago, but I kind of felt like this would be good for this image. So I'm just going around and trying not to pull my card stock or my frame too tight, but I want to make sure that that's sealed all the way around with my red liner tape. So I can peel that off in one, which is quite satisfying. And then what I'm going to do is just that over. It would have been easier if I'd gone a little bit over to the left, but it's fine. And then what I'm going to do is just pop my scissors under the frame and trim it round. And this isn't going to be seen, so it does not have to be neat in any way, shape or form. Just a question of just making sure that you make sure you're going under and not cutting into the frame. And this is the fiddly bit really. I watched Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris on Netflix yesterday. It's quite a nice feel-good film. Really enjoyed it. Kind of film Mum would have liked. Okay, so where you can see the acetate coming over, just pop your scissors under and tidy that up a little bit. Like I say, I am chopping and hacking into this like nobody's business, but nobody's going to see it, so it's going to look perfect at the end. So just piece there, and where it's just coming up to the frame, if I turn it over I can just go around. Like I say, just making sure I'm cutting the acetate and not the actual frame itself. Gone out? Yes, it has. And then there's a tiny, weeny bit there. A little bit there as well. I think it's just a little bit here, and the reason I can see it is because there is a snowflake just on the edge of it. you know, like the pattern. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so I've chopped and hacked into that like a proper pro, haven't I? Not. Okay, so I didn't have any of the Hunkydory strips to hand. What I did have though is this came from Crafter's Companion, so it's foam tape on a roll. So I'm just going to go around the inside of my frame again, just all the way around. Again, just staying in the confines of that frame. I'm trying to stay sort of in the middle because it's going to be better if I can. Just in terms of looks and what you can see at the end. Okay. And I've managed to do that all in one piece, so that is fine. Okay, so next what I need to do is bring in my image. Now, do I want to pop it onto there and then onto there? So we've got quite a good heft in there, but I don't want things to hide behind it, so I am still going to pop it flat, I think. Okay, so let's pop this frame out. A little bit of tacky, tacky glue all the way around. And if I just pop my frame, I think I want to be about there. Maybe a little further down. Yeah, that's good. Now, do I want to do this flat, or do I want to raise it up a little tiny bit, just to give it a little bit? Let's see what it would look like if I tear this off. Pop that on. I don't think it's really going to make a lot of difference, so we'll go flat. Okay, so tacky glue again, all over, and down it goes. Okay, and even though all of my accents on this are gold, I'm going to be using these holographic stars. If you've got a die cut sort of a snowflake, you can use that. You could also go in with gold stars. I just think it's going to pick up these blue tones quite nicely. I have got gold stars, but I just thought I'd go with these. The other thing you could do is, see, I prefer sort of larger things for shakers. Seed beads, they would be great. If you've got any double-sided pearl card, and maybe use a hole punch, you know, like the ones you use for A4 paper, the 2-hole punch. Just punch that a load of times and get the bits out. So you'd have white bits, like little white snowballs, anything like that really. You can use whatever you choose. But I'm going to pop this in. It's quite deep, but I don't want too many. Sorry about Henry. They tend to smoke sometimes outside the front of the house. I think, and then they chat, and he doesn't like that. Okay, do I want to use more than that? I think I might. I've been a bit stingy. So last time I used quite a few, and it was. Right, we'll use that. We'll use quarter of a bottle. And these are the Hunkydory ones. Okay, let's get this frame the right way round, because it has got a right and a wrong way. I'm not going to put any tacky glue on. I'm just going to trust myself and go in. And then you've got your little shaker there. You can see it just fits nicely under the image there. So I'm happy with that one. Henry, come here. Hens. Hens. Okay, so we've got this one here. So that would be nice with a little bit of navy ribbon, I feel. Yeah, I think that will do. That will do. So I'm going to use this 1mm foam pad. This is a Hunkydory one. Oh. Henry! Oh, bear with me, and I'm just going to pop that on there. And I'm just going to go and sort him out. Bear with me. Apologies, so it wasn't the usual neighbours. It was the people a little bit further on there, cutting the grass, cutting the bushes, and having a good old chinwag at the same time. Okay, so let's grab some of this navy ribbon. Might have been a bit tight there. Henry, come on now. I've told Henry he's got to give me 5 minutes, and then he can bark all he likes. So he doesn't like it. He's stranger danger. He's on alert. Right. So we've just got ourselves a real tiny little bow. Like this sort of size ribbon on these cards. And then some PVA glue there. Let's turn it around the right way. I'm going to pop that on, and we'll have my reverse tweezers. That's going to hold that quite nicely. Now, I don't think I've got any navy blue pearls, which is a shame, but I have got some bright blue. Got those ones. Let's see if there's any others. No, I've got those pearls, but they're quite small. Okay, got some bright light blue ones. Purple. Could have done this while I was shutting them up, sorry. So we could go with yellow. Or we could, shall I just go with gold? Let's just go with gold. Because the navy and gold goes so well together. So it's good enough for the British Navy, isn't it? So let's grab a few of those. And what I'm going to do, just clean that off a little bit. I'm going to pop one in this corner here. And I'm going to put 2 down here. So I might go with some slightly bigger ones. Here we go. So you have a nice chunky one there. Come on. And then those. No, you won't be no good, will you? This. This one, I think. Slightly better size. There we go. They're the same size. Okay. So that is quite a super quick shaker card. Like I say, you could go in with gold stars. You might even have a little pot of holographic snowflakes, seed beads, those sort of things are all great in there. I think the thing to avoid is the shredded holographic bits, you know, like their little bits of tinsel, because they just stick to the front straight up. I find glitter does. I also found the faux snow did. I don't know about Hunkydory's one, I haven't tried it, but I suspect it probably would be a bit the same. The problem is you get the static in there and then everything clings to it. And I've tried various things to try and get rid of that static. I think online it says wash it with washing up liquid. I've done that. Wipe it with a tumble dryer sheet. I've tried that. and I've still got a certain amount of cling to it. Maybe not as much, to be fair, but still enough to that is off-putting for me. But I find that these little chunky bits from Hunkydory, they tend to do really well in there, and you can see there's none of them, just hold that, none of them stuck. They're all moving around. Actually, there's a couple stuck at the bottom where there's a bit of glue, but that they're not stuck to the acetate, that's stuck to the underneath. Right, so let's bring back in my little spanner card. So a bit of a mixed bag today in terms of success, and you know, obviously this one did go a little bit wrong at the start because I had forgotten. I was so busy trying to get that on straight, I'd forgotten that that needed to go underneath. Yeah, I mean, it could go on the top as well, I suppose, but then, you know, you've got choices there. But that is it for today. I have made a couple of other cards with the bits left over from last time, so we'll put those on Pinterest today. And I think there's 2 other cards that I made up out of a kit that I played with before, that I might not have put up there, so I need to check on those. So you might see a couple of other odd ones go up. I will wait until I've finished all the rest of the, I think it's Cute I'm working through at the moment. Yeah, Cute Christmas, I'm working through the bits. There's 4 sets that was left over from that I didn't craft with on video. And when I've done those, what I'll do is I'll upload them to Pinterest, and I'll open an album on my Facebook, so that there will be a card example for every sheet that's in the kit. That's the plan, to craft the whole kit out, get it all out for charity, and then I can make space for another kit maybe this week. Who knows what's coming. I know the pocket pads I really do like. I've never bought the pocket pads before, but I think they kind of probably would be a perfect size for 6x6 cards. It's just, and it might be good for using up odd bits left over, because let me show you the good thing about having these borders at the side is if I make another 6x6 card, I'm going to have another piece like this cut off. Okay, so let's just imagine I've cut another piece off, and that I can join together with a ribbon. So obviously I'd trim it up so it was neat. I can join that together with a ribbon, or I can hide it some other way, maybe a border, something like that. So that is the good thing about that, those borders being on the side. So, you know, they give and they take, don't they, each style. But I'm rambling again, so I do apologise. But thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, if there's much of it left by the time this goes up. I will see you again on Tuesday. But until then, happy crafting. Bye.